we were taught that we needed to serve our country. And that I had two brothers that had already entered. And when I finished high school in Prescott, Arkansas, the first thing I did was join the Army. And they put me in the combat engineers, and that's where I served my whole time. I would like to mention my second brother. His bomber was a Marauder bomber. He flew 60 missions over Germany and had a lot of his belly gunners and people killed. And he got to see that bomber in Washington, D.C., and it sits there today, and all of me, even my great-grandchildren, have seen his plane. And it was called flak bait. There probably 2 times. After we took Manila, Philippines, we were housed in a 3-story building on the main street, and General Douglas MacArthur's GHQ, General Headquarters, right across the street. Well, one morning I walked down on the street to get some fresh air, and he was coming out of his billeting with 3 big Marines, and they was getting in a weapons carrier to ride down the street. And he happened to look up at me and smiled. And then I popped him a big salute, and he saluted me back and laughed real loud. And that's one. The other one, I think, was when I was coming back home on a troop ship, 600 troops, and we went under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and it was completely covered with flags and people, no cars, and everybody had bull horns saying, "We love you, welcome back home." And that was wonderful. And when we landed on shore, they took us to our billeting, and we went to the mess hall, and each one of us had a half a head of lettuce, because we didn't get any lettuce, and also gave us a full T-bone steak that weighed a pound. So we had a good meal for a change. Being away from home. Being home, my father had passed away. He was a World War I veteran and was wounded in the Battle of the Argonne Forest in France. And I think my greatest memory is leaving my mom and giving her a big hug, and she was crying. And when the 4 of us returned safe and sound, she told me that she wet her pillow every night. And the thing that she hated the most is to think about somebody walking up on her porch and saying, "I'm here to inform you," which meant one of us had been killed. Keep moving, have something to do. When you go to bed at night, have something to do when you get up the next morning. That's the secret. Well, garden is the big thing I like. I like gardening. I have a friend that's a paraplegic, and I grow tomatoes for him only. I've never had a tomato out of my patch. They're all for him. Well, we tried to have 3 meals a day, but I remember one time my mother, all she had for supper was buttermilk and cornbread, and she cried at the table. And I'll never forget that. And a rabbit was lucky to get out alive anywhere during the Depression. And of course, if you got deer meat, or everybody grew a garden so you could have vegetables. Reverence to the flag of the United States of America. That flag runs red, white, and blue through my veins, and it does every other veteran. We love that flag. We fought for that flag. Many of us died for that flag. And all these young people need to understand that that's what happened in our life, that we gave our life protecting our country. and I'd do it again. I'd go back any time.